Ever get the impression that these two machines show up entirely too often in my videos? And I get that impression as well. So how about we do some 2-cycle baking soda in the carpet test, where we put 10 grams of baking soda in the carpet and then run the machines for 2 full cycles and then measure everything we can possibly measure to see where this fine dust goes. So we're going to do 4 different sets of measurements. Yep, video is going to be really long. So we can measure the cyclone itself in there, it's removable. We can also measure this bin, and we can measure this kind of bottom bin down there that holds the pre-motor HEPA filter and the little foam filter in there. And then of course we can simply try to extract the fine dust from that middle assembly itself. So let's start out with a bunch of empty measurements then. Okay, so first measurement, no real particular order. You can take a look at that. See, it's all nice and clean. Will be this bottom tray. And oh good, you can see that. So that's going to be, I'm going to call it a 214.69 grams. Then let's take a look at the middle bin. And I'm going to call that 291.58 grams. And then I wonder if we really need, no, you can see that. Okay, so we don't need that extra little tray there. 66.30 grams. Okay, so that's all the turbo pieces. Let's go and try the Helix pieces. So here is the separator right here. And yeah, I'm going to call that 71.41 grams. And then here's the main bin. All right. I'm going to call that 254.53 grams. And then here's the bottom tray. And we have 218.73 grams. Okay, fantastic. Now we need to go and actually vacuum up some baking soda. And let's start out with the turbo first. If you were interested in how I actually prepare both the vacuums and the carpet for this series of tests, please take a look at the very first video in the playlist, and you'll see the long, boring, extensive methodology that I use to go and prepare everything for this test. So if I mess this up, so to speak, I have to go through this whole rigmarole, which takes quite some time to actually reset everything. So here we go with the turbo. Okay, that's 10 grams. can see the carpet turning white a little bit right here as some of the baking soda rises up a little bit. Now I need to change the camera angle again so you can see all the measurements. Now I'm going to do all the calculations, or all the calculations where we need to do calculations, at the end of the video, except for the extraction test, because that's going to be easy. Okay, so the separator right here, 66.22, maybe 6, okay, it's moving. Just when you think you've got something nailed down. 66 point, I'm going to call it at 66.21, and that just doesn't really look like it's clogged with anything, you know. Nothing that would really change much. Okay, see, we have baking soda in there, kind of clumped over to one side. We could do the bottom bin here. Yep. And the bottom bin is 214.73 grams. And the outside of the foam filter, yeah, it looks okay. I mean, we only did 10 grams of fine dust, but still, I'm not, you know, it's white stuff, so you'd see it if there was anything that was there. And now, let's do the raw bin measurement. Okay, raw bin measurement, and that will include any carpet fiber pickup as well, which isn't going to be much because it's just 2 cycles. So 293.1, I gotta call it something. $293.16. I'll call it a 293.16. Okay, so now we need to do the extraction. I see there's one hair in there. Get rid of that. And sample pickup's pretty clean. It's about as good as that's going to get. And we certainly have a little bit of carpet fiber there. So I can separate that out. Shake the dust from it, kind of. There's a piece there. Looks like that's about it. That is a really clean sample. That's very hard to get a sample that clean. If you're going to try this test, you're going to find that out real quick. So that's pretty much it for the error. So now, let's see what we managed to pick up. And I need my other tray. I can use my big tray, but what's the point? It's such a small amount of dirt. Okay. What did we get? So this is out of 10 grams. And there we go. So you can see that 1.32 gram pickup out of 10 is going to mean 13%. So yeah, there's a whole lot of remaining baking soda still in that carpet somewhere. So we only got about 13 or so percent out of the out of the bin. That's it. I mean, it's a little dusty in there, but not enough to really change the measurement a whole lot. Not really. So around 13% pickup. Less than I expected, but let's go over to the Helix and see if it does any better. Here we go with the Helix. All right, now let's see what everything weighs. All right, how about we start out with the Cyclone. And I'm not seeing a bunch of buildup on here either. Just doesn't really look like anything special. Okay, I'm reading 71.42. I'll call it at that. Now, let's try the bottom bin with filter. As you can see, foam external little filter there is very clean. So let's see what this does. And I'm going to call that at 218.74 grams. Now what we're really interested in is this middle bin here. Oh, here. You can see that. Pretty clean pickup. So I'm going to call that at 257.15. Yeah, 257.15. Okay. Now, let's separate out the dirt. Okay, hair. Now there's a hair and a little bit of carpet there. That's easy to separate. And let's see what we have. This reminds me of the good old days back in 2017 where I did these really long, boring videos with a ton of dirt separation using the straws in the tube. Okay, I'm going to say that amount there right here is just external fluff. So I'll just get rid of that. I wonder if that's a better pickup. Come on over. Let's see what we got. Now you do have to realize these machines were used and abused. They do not have new brush rolls, and I guarantee you new brush rolls would definitely make a difference. Absolutely. Okay, so yes, we definitely have an improvement. Let me change the angle a bit here. There we go. 2.11 grams out of 10. So that would be about 21%. And that is certainly a statistically significant improvement over, say, 13%. So, loosely speaking here, just talking about bin extraction to bin extraction, the Helix actually wins. But let's sum up all the measurements that we have, because this is going to be interesting to me to find out if anything really has gotten caught in here that we can measure one way or the other. So let's start with the turbo. This cyclone right here, it's probably the only weird aberration I have. It lost 0.09 grams. Now there probably was something in there, maybe that broke loose and lightened this up a little bit. But that still would be, like, say, an error of less than 1% when you're talking about 10 grams. So that's still a little weird that it lost 9/100ths of a gram, but it certainly didn't clog. I can tell you that. So maybe that's the most important thing right there. The bin itself. So this held 16%, and then when I was able to extract it, it gave us 13%. Now, at the time of making this video, that is the lowest score for all the machines tested so far. So I would say that 3% is probably honestly just the electrostatic charge, that holds the dust to the inside of this, and we could definitely expect that. That's not really all that bad. And the surprising thing, I think, for a lot of people, to me just a little bit, but I think for a lot of people, is this whole bottom bin assembly, with this little cruddy little foam filter and the HEPA pleated filter underneath here. This only gained, or you could say, clogged by 0.04 grams. That just doesn't amount to anything. So remember, we tried to pick up about 10 grams, and this isn't just really clogging very fast. I mean, over time it will, but with small amounts of fine dust, it does not immediately clog. So that was kind of nice to figure out. Okay, so let's go over to the Helix, and let's see, the cyclone right here, such as it is, this gained 0.01 grams. Now, all that's within a margin of error. I mean, it probably didn't really gain anything. But, this in a used condition where it's blown out, but it's not, scrubbed, that kind of thing, it did not clog appreciably. It didn't. Some fine dust passing through it, and it went right through it, and it didn't really stick to it. None under normal circumstances. The bin assembly held 26% of the baking soda. And then when we did the extraction, turned it upside down, we were able to get out 21%. So this bin in its condition held on to about 5% of the fine dust. Again, obviously coated all around there. So, and I can even see some of the coating in there. And that'll come out, but I mean, you have to wipe it out. It doesn't normally come out when you try to tap it. Again, the bottom filtration down here just didn't clog appreciably. So here this is, and there's not a bunch of white stuff anywhere on there. So for small amounts of fine dust for a certain period of time, this did 0.01 grams. So there was no real change. That's so small, again, within a margin of error. So these two filtration assemblies with a limited amount of fine dust simply, it doesn't really clog because it's not really getting past everything to get collected, by these. So it's okay. Now you can look at the whole house carpet cleaning pickup where I'm picking up a wide variety of dirt, dog hair and various other things. And you see these become clogged. You definitely do. But with a small amount of baking soda, it doesn't really seem to clog that much. So we end up with 13% extracted for the turbo, and for the Helix, 21% extracted. Now, there's something very interesting about 21% extraction for this particular machine. So let me see if I can't hurry and put this one back together. Because this machine, as far as the extracted baking soda test goes, yeah, you might not actually believe this. This machine matches within 1% of this guy. Yeah, so Bissell fans are going to be very happy about this, and Dyson fans are going to be very upset, waiting for the thumbs down. So this machine did 21% extracted. This machine did 22% extracted. Essentially, that's within a margin of error. So bottom line is, these two machines, for 10 grams of fine dust in my medium pile carpet, test about the same as far as the amount of dirt that you can get out of the bin and then get out of the house. And that's pretty amazing, considering this machine is cheap and this machine is expensive. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.